Recently on Everyday Reviews, we featured the latest generation Acura MDX. If you haven't watched that video, I'll leave a link in the video description. Well, today we've got the MDX back in the driveway. However, this one's a little bit special. This one is the Type S. I really like the design language that Acura has been implementing on their latest SUVs, like the RDX that we just tested not too long ago, and the MDX. Well, this Type S is no different, and this is a stunner for sure. This color is called Performance Red Pearl, and well, just look at it. It is, look at me, but it looks really good. It looks hot. Everywhere you go, people are like, wow, look at that color. It just pops like crazy, especially with the black accent. So you get the 3D diamond grille on here. Standard, you also get the dual LEDs. You do get LEDs in the rear. Now there are two Type S trims to choose from. There's the regular Type S and the Type S Ultra. And this one happens to be the Ultra, so it gets a few other goodies that we'll explain in a second. If you look at the side here, you'll see around the wheel wells, the black around there. You get the black mirror caps, the black roof rails as well. This comes with 21-inch alloy wheels on here. If you look, you get the big, bright red Brembo 4-piston brakes right there. So pretty chunky for a big, chunky vehicle. Of course, a special vehicle wouldn't be very special if it didn't have some badging. So you do get Type S on the front grille. You get it on both sides of the front fender and in the back, and of course, some goodies inside. Well, continuing on here, you'll see more black accents on the lower rocker area. This does have the proximity key. One thing I'm a big fan of, grab it, opens, unlocks, but it works for front or back doors as well. Some people like go, hey, well, you can just set it so when you touch the front, it'll unlock all doors. Yes, you can, but that kind of defeats the whole purpose. If I'm going and loading the kids up, I just want to go and grab the rear door like this. It'll unlock, let them in, and then go to my door. It just saves one step. The Type S has remote start. Hold the remote start button. What's nice is you'll see I get a green confirmation light, so it goes bi-directional, so you know that it's actually started even if you're in the house. You'll see the chicane inspired rear tail lights, they're LED. You have more of the black accent on that roof spoiler, quite a dark tinted rear glass. Speaking of glasses, how do you like my new shades? Love Serengeti's, it's probably my third pair. The optics are so good. Unsponsored, bought them myself. Anyways, then we have a sport valence and quad tipped exhaust here. All Type S's have hands-free power tailgate, just a little kick there, up it comes. It works very, very well. Once it's open, you'll see this is a 7-passenger vehicle, so you do have a third row, and it's very easy to fold them down. There's no power options, but it's probably really not needed because they're fairly light. One grab of the handle, and you'll see it folds the headrest down. We're on a slope right now, so I do have to help them along, but that's it, okay? Nice flat area right there. Of course, if you have a need for more room, you can fold the second row down as well. And the middle seat in the second row, you can remove entirely. So once you're back here, plenty of room. You have a 12-volt outlet underneath the floor, a fairly large compartment, very similar to that of the RDX. I use this a lot. I love how it's just good so things don't roll around too much to put things in there. I do wish there was some way that this would hold up. This whole thing comes out though. It's easy, but it'd be nice if it was hinged some way. There is an inflator kit here. There is no spare tire on the Type S, so just be aware of that. If you get the non-Type S, that does come with a spare. There are a few ways to close this power tailgate. Of course, you could kick under the bumper, you could use the key fob, you could hit the button on the top here, or there's another button that has a little man walking away. So if you hit that one, okay, What it does is there's a proximity sensor, and when I walk away, it's just going to close. And let's try it out. There we go, easy as that. Now there is no lock button for the powered trunk. You know, some vehicles have a close and a lock, but this one's not needed because you can actually get this thing to do an auto lock. So when I walk away with the key fob, the vehicle will automatically lock. So that takes care of that. Let's go inside. The Type S is the top of the MDX food chain, so obviously it's very, very loaded. However, if you go into the Ultra package that we have in this Type S, you get a few extra things. So let's just start with the standard things that you get with the Type S. You get a flat bottom, leather wrapped steering wheel. It's heated, feels really good. You get a very sporty interior, a 16 speaker ELS audio system, a full digital dash, so you have a multi-information display behind the steering wheel, and it's got great graphics. When you change drive modes, it changes colors in there, very easy to see. You have a 12.3-inch infotainment screen. Standard is wireless Apple CarPlay, and you get Android Auto. That comes standard. And you have this true touch interface as well. So wherever you touch on this pad here, that's going to correspond to what's on the screen. However, if you're in a non-native app like Apple CarPlay, for instance, if we go here, that true touch doesn't work anymore. Now this just works as a regular trackpad, so you have to scroll up and down and left and right. So just be aware of that. This also has a 360-degree camera, and what I like about that is if you want to select it even without being in reverse, here's a button right on that wiper stock. Just hit that button, up it comes. Hit it again if you want to change views, and I like this view because that's the curb view, the wheel view, and it really helps prevent getting some of that curb rash if you're parking near curbs all the time. So that's very, very handy as well. You get leather heated seats for the front and back. You also get this large panoramic roof, and it does have a sliding shade to it. Now, if you go into the Ultra, you get a few extra goodies like a full color head-up display. You got easy adjustments for that. You got a 25 speaker ELS special signature edition. So more speakers, more power, better sound, all depends on what source you put to it, by the way. You also get what's happening. You might not, well, you're not seeing it happen, but we get massage seats for the front for this Ultra edition, and it feels really good. It actually, it's quite strong. It's very, very good actually. The Ultra also gets ventilated front seats, and first and second row get quilted leather seats on the Ultra. The top Ultra also gets 16-way power adjustable seats opposed to 12-way on the regular Type S, but both of them are power, and you do have memory settings for both driver and passenger, and it can be linked to your key fob as well. You have lots of connectivity. There's a little flap here. Open that up. You have two USBs, Type A and Type C. You have wireless charging just underneath this kind of palm rest. In this console here, you have a 12-volt outlet plus another Type A USB. Second row gets USBs, and on the Ultra, you get USBs in the third row as well. So speaking of the third row, let's check out the back seat. We mentioned that this is a 7-passenger vehicle, so we have 3 in the second row, and you can put 2 in the third row there. Now, room-wise, decent room for your feet, good leg room here, and these seats do slide forward and back as well. They do recline quite a bit, but that is only for the 2 outbound seats. The middle seat does not slide, but you can, let's see, first of all, put that middle down. Now you have a nice console, kind of makes it like a captain's seat arrangement for the second row passengers here. A large kind of storage tunnel. You got a drink holder there. Now this whole third section here can come right out. Very similar to the Honda Odyssey, how that works. So that's a really nice thing too. And it also makes a nice little tunnel to go back to that third row. But yeah, decent room. We do have tri-zone climate control, so you have your own controls for the rear climate right in front of you here. You do get manual sunshades. with this. And we mentioned that this does have heated seats. So yeah, a very, very good second row. Now, third row, if you don't climb through the middle, there is a one-touch option just on the bottom of the seat or on the back of the seat. There's a button. See if I can touch it here. Little push there. There we go. It actually tilts and it pushes the seat forward. You can get in there. Now that third row, just like most third rows in this class of vehicle, they're made for a pinch. You know, go pick up an extra kid or two at school. Yeah, not for super long trips, but yeah, it is not bad though, but I wouldn't want to go on a long trip in that third row. So let's go for a drive. Boy, have I missed having a large three-row SUV. Not just for actually carrying the odd passenger in the third row, but having the extra room. As you can see, got a big, huge gas pressure washer in here. Made a Costco trip. Don't even have to fold down the second row of seats. No problem. Anyways, enough of that. You know the exterior and the interior a little bit different with this Type S, but of course you want to know the biggest thing, what's driving this. And that's a turbocharged 3-liter V6, and it puts out 354 horsepower, and that is up 65 horsepower from the regular MDX, and torque is also bumped up by 87 pound-feet, so you get a total of 354 pound-feet of torque. One thing that I've noticed with this engine is it's really, really free revving. It just feels like it's not trying, and that's a good thing. I really like it. So we're in normal mode. Of course, we do have a dynamic mode knob, and we have several different modes. Now, this is equipped with a 10-speed automatic transmission as well. Super handling all-wheel drive comes standard with it. And on this Type S, you do get adaptive suspension with air suspension as well. So when we actually, let's switch it over to sport mode, we have an indicator in our display, and we are actually lowering right now down. It's gonna bring it down to the lowest level. Now, depending on what level you're at, we can go from sport, normal, it's gonna go up. Comfort, you're gonna even get a more comfortable ride, a little cushier, but you're gonna be higher up. And the very last one, well, two last ones, you go snow and lift, which brings you all the way up as high as you can go. And it's nice to have that air suspension because once in a while, you may need a little extra clearance. Not that you're gonna go 4x4 with an MDX, but maybe a cottage road. All right, so let's put it back into sport mode. Oh yeah. Get this really cool graphic that comes on. Listen to that engine. Oh, it sounds really, really good, and it's nice and balanced. It's like a kind of a Goldilocks. It's not too extreme at all, and the suspension in sport mode, it's not a sports car, okay? Get that straight. But it's nice that you can adjust it to allow for a little bit more confident driving if you're getting a little bit more spirited, for sure. If you want to change your own gears, you have paddle shifters on the wheel. Let's try it out there. It's fairly quick, how fast it reacts. Now, when you're in the sweet spot, around like 4,000 RPM, boy, oh boy, this thing just really, really pulls. And we don't have any real nice canyon roads around here, but it would be really fun to try it out on a road like that. Just keep it in something like, third, maybe fourth gear around that area in that 4,000 RPM range. And yeah, you're gonna definitely have a smile on your face for sure. I think a lot of times brakes don't get the credit they deserve. Sure, you can talk about brakes and how they're not fading. For instance, if you're on a racetrack, you're just hammering them on and they're powerful. But where they don't get enough attention is everyday, day-to-day driving. And I'm telling you, these brembos on this MDX Type S are some of the best, most modular, linear brakes I've driven in a long time. Day-to-day driving, whether you're you know, braking hard or just a little trail braking, it is just so easy to modulate, and it's very noticeable, seriously. So good job on the whole balance of this vehicle. Now, with more power, you're gonna use more fuel, but it's not too bad. This averages 12.4 liters per 100 kilometers in combined city and highway driving. Now, for a three-row SUV, that's maybe a little bit more on the higher side, but you know, that's not bad, not bad. That's 19 miles per gallon for our friends down south, by the way. There is one other drive mode. If you actually go all the way past sport, you have an individual mode where you can set your own settings. Maybe you want your steering to be normal, but you want the engine to be more responsive, and you want a more comfortable ride, and that's your preferred setting. You can just set it right there however you want. If you want a more sporty transmission, you can just hit the D or S, and it just goes into sport mode for the transmission, regardless of what drive mode you're in. So that's really handy. Speaking of that button, I gotta say, I still am not a big fan of the push button gear selector. It's a preference. It really is a preference. You know, I've actually gotten more used to dials even, but you know, give me a traditional one opposed to these buttons. They're just, yeah, they just don't. Not my favorite. Not my favorite at all. Quite a few people have asked me, which one would you choose? Either this Type S or a Genesis GV80. And you know what? That is kind of a tough question to answer, because the answer is going to be different depending on what your needs are. First of all, they're roughly the same price if you go the Type S to the top of the line GV80. Actually, that's a little bit more. So this one starts at $79,000. And then if you go for the top of the line Ultra that we have here, it's going to bring you to $83,000, and that gives you all the bells and whistles. But yeah, so it's within a few $1,000s of that GV80. However, very, very different. First of all, this gives you definitely a more dynamic drive. Just the presence when you're sitting in this interior, it feels a lot more sport oriented. The colors, just everything about it. Whereas the Genesis is going to give you more of a luxury experience. So it really depends what you want. I have enjoyed driving both of them. For me, I would probably go toward the GV80 just for our needs, because I know Cynthia really likes the GV80. You know, happy wife, happy life. But also, normally for a three-row SUV, you're going to be hauling people around, like mainly family members probably. So do you really need that much sport? You know, it all depends. If you're driving this, you know, Monday to Friday, you know, as a single driver, and you like to really engage when you're with your drive, then sure, go ahead. But if you're using this all the time for your family, yeah, I would probably just get the regular MDX, or maybe get a GV80, depending on, you know, what your preference is of even the style of it. I think the S in Type S should stand for sweet, because this MDX really hits this sweet spot. And I like how Acura really didn't go overboard. They didn't make this thing too sporty, which could really kind of, you know, alienate some buyers, because it could be a little compromising for regular day-to-day driving. And this one is great. I would say that, like, this is good for 99% of the drivers out there. So if you're in the market for a higher trim level MDX already, and you're thinking, hey, maybe I might want to splash out a little bit extra money, get some more power, that air suspension, the better brakes, and a more kind of a special and engaging experience, then have a look at the Type S. Yeah, I don't think you'll be disappointed at all. But either way, you're a winner. MDX, regular, or Type S, both excellent vehicles. Anyways, that's our quick second look at the new MDX, the Type S one, that is, for this version. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of the new MDX, and would you buy the Type S? Safe driving. See you in the next video. Bye.